Macy Gray goes on Piers Morgan's show. Why, I don't know. I don't know if she has a new album coming out or what. And she says something controversial. She says they're talking about gender. They're talking about gender identity, pronouns, all that stuff. She says, I will say this and everybody's going to hate me. Uh-oh. But as a woman, just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman. Sorry. Okay. She continued, if you want me to call you a her, I will, because that's what you want. But that doesn't make you a woman just because I call you a her and just because you got a surgery. All right. So that happens, Adam and audience. There's a firestorm. Of course, everyone's like, oh my God, she's transphobic, bigot. You know, everybody's screaming there. You know how they vomit their words out. So then she decides 3 days later, to go on NBC Today with Hoda. And I see this interview and it's just insufferable in every possible way. Right there it is, you can see. And suddenly she's singing a different tune. I see Hoda that's kind of like, is there anything that you want to talk about? You know, they're trying to get her to do the walk back. We talked about the Hollywood walk back yesterday. Mm-hmm. And here's what she says. I've learned a lot through this. So I think that was one of the reasons that it happened. It was a huge learning experience for me. You can call yourself whoever you believe you are. There was like music playing in the background, or there needed to be. And nobody can dictate that for you or take that away from you. She goes on. Being a woman is a vibe, and it's something I'm very proud of and something that's very precious to me. I think if you in your heart feel that's what you are, then that's what you are regardless of what anybody says or thinks. So Adam, my blood was boiling a little bit on this one. Here's why. First of all, she said something that was, she gave her opinion, she came out. Why didn't she just leave it at that? She's got a platform. Why do none of these celebrities have a backbone? Why can't they just say something, that's how they feel, and that's it? Why is it that the second everybody comes out and has a problem with it, they got to do the walk back? Mm-hmm. So I see this and I get peeved. Tell me how you feel about this. Hollywood, what happens here, and gender.
Wow.
That's a packed question.
Yeah, well, good for Macy Gray for getting to the headlines again, because I haven't heard of her name in...
Well, that is true.
How long?
So and you were singing her song before the show.
I try to talk away and I was like, try to what? Wasn't she in Training Day as like a crackhead?
I don't know, but Tyler told us she was in Spider-Man, apparently.
Spider-Man. But look, I feel like the whole trans thing is just such low-hanging fruit. I mean, do you have any trans friends?
No.
I don't have any trans friends. I know they're out there.
Yeah.
I'm not transphobic. You know, phobia means you hate something, right, or you're prejudiced against something. I don't, like, nobody wakes up and be like, I hate these trans folks. Like,
right.
I don't know anyone thinks like that. I think to our friends in the trans community, I think people are unclear as to what's going on. You're a he, you're a she, you're a they, you're a her.
Why can't you just say, like, why is it criminal now to just come out and be like, a man is a man, a woman is a woman, biology is biology. These things you can feel however you want to feel, but it doesn't change reality.
Well, it depends, like, what you mean by criminal. Like, nobody's going to jail over words.
People get deplatformed. People get, I mean, look at her. She was afraid her career was going to be complete. Why did she come and walk that back? Because she probably had threats against her. She probably felt like, oh, I'm not going to get booked on this or that. I'm going to have no career after this. So they fear career destruction. And it happens to people. Even on Twitter, they get totally deplatformed.
Yeah.
They pull the rug out from under them. So we're in a time now where you can't just say something. Go out there. Even if she felt that way and you don't like it, why does nobody have a backbone?
Well, look, the woke mob, I would assume a lot of the trans folks are kind of classified under woke mob. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
And look, they're pissed. They got loud voices. The whole,
pissed about what though? Pissed about what?
They're just mad. Why can't you just wake up and be mad every day? They're mad.
I'm Italian. It's possible.
They're just waking up. Oh, gotta go to war with somebody. Someone said something. I mean, look what happened with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle had a trans friend, a trans comedian, and he said he had a great joke. He's like, be careful. Like, he told a whole trans joke, and they go, be careful, Dave. They gonna come after you. And he goes, well, is it one day or multiple days?
Yeah.
These days, there's so many, like, you hear things on Twitter, 10 people spouting off, they're mad, and corporations will just crumble because some people are upset. Look.
But how do you feel? I want to get to the, you're a guy who I see as, I could be wrong, but it's like live and let live, right? Yeah, and that's how I think most people are. It's like, do what you want, call yourself what you want, but that doesn't change reality. And I think what bothers people is that now this went from a conversation about acceptance to a conversation about now we have to say there's no such thing as a boy and a girl. So are we in crazy town now? Like, why do we need to cater to the crazy because they demand it? Why?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's like catering to crazy. It's just this is their life, and they feel that if you're coming after them, and I'm not defending them, but if they feel like you're attacking them, they're gonna strike back. Like Trump says, if you hit me, I'm gonna punch back 10 times harder. Not to get all political, but you asked for my opinion. I'm gonna tell you 2 stories about my trans experience. It's not gonna be that juicy.
I was hoping for something that's not going to come.
Born and raised in Miami. I live in South Beach.
There
we go.
Found out.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I reached down. I reached down. I said,
if you're going to come to the podcast, bring some juice.
Well, I'm going to give you 2 juicy stories. Cut this up. Number 1, I live in South Beach. There's a place on, so you know Ocean Drive. Are you familiar with it? It's, you know, if you ever go to South Beach, Ocean Drive. There's I couldn't tell you the name because I never go, but I walk by it all the time. It's on Ocean Drive. And on Sundays, like I'll go ride my bike, go work out, go to the beach, hang with a girl, whatever. And there's like a poppin' place of drag queens.
Yeah.
It's going off. And tourists galore. And just to give you some context, I'll ride my bike by, look at what's going on, and, you know, salute and keep it moving. And that's what I think most people should do symbolically. You're cool. You got your trans thing going on. Cool. Do you guys? I'm going to go live my life.
Right.
And I think that's what most people are doing. Now, where transphobic comes in, which I'm not, is if I'm on a bike ride, let's say, if I stop my bike and I go, fuck you, you trans, like now that is wrong.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with saying, all right, cool, you guys do your thing. I'm just going to. More power to you. And the place is packed. People want to see it.
See, that's what most people are saying. But the problem arises, and I'm glad you teed this up for me, because the problem arises when facts cease to matter. There's people, there has to be, something has to be grounded in reality here. Otherwise, I could walk in here and say, well, Adam, I'm a kitten. Meow, 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 purr, purr, purr.
Yeah.
I purr at home. I could bring it to the show. We talk about that all the time. Adam's like, what? Look at that face.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're
Adam's like, what's she No, but listen, I could come in here and say whatever I want then. Yeah. And you have to be obliged to say, well, yes, because Jed said that. That's just not how the world works. Now, the world does work that you can call yourself a cat if you want to, but that doesn't mean you're a cat. And people who say you're not a cat have to be able to say that in peace. Let me bring an example to you. I read this in the Daily Mail. I coupled this with this one. Oregon mom blasts woke new state law calling for free tampons in all boys' school bathrooms. Apparently now, it's a law. It's called the Menstrual Dignity Act. Audience, you rolling your eyes at home? I'm just asking. Menstrual Dignity Act, and it's a lot of money. It's costing, you'll love this conversation, it's about money. To pay for the dispensers, about $5.6 million would be diverted from the state schools fund. Enough to pay 30 teacher salaries for 2 years. And they're putting them in boys' bathrooms because, you know, it's part of catering to children who are transgender and non-binary. Kindergartners' bathrooms, too. Yeah. So they have tampons that are being put in boys' bathrooms now. Now, this is what I'm saying. The reason that I brought this up is because this went from a debate about what you're saying, which is, I drive past, you know, there's a drag queens having a party. Great. You do you. All cool, like whatever. To now, tampons in boys' bathrooms. Why do boys need tampons? Do boys need tampons in your opinion? For any
as you're saying it, I'm like, is this an Onion headline? Or
no,
this is a Babylon Bee?
No, this is from
Daily Mail.
This is from the Daily Mail, and this is happening. This is a law in Oregon. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
We should have Oregon.
Well, there you go.
Oregon is the one state in the country, I don't know if you know that legalized or decriminalized all drugs.
Yeah.
You go to Oregon, you have the time of your life. I do kind of think they should keep tampons out of little boys' hands. But maybe that's an Oregon thing. Look,
But do you see what you're saying? You're saying, well, maybe that's an Oregon thing. But this is batshit crazy, right? So we have to get, and you know what?
Need tampons? If
Macy Gray went on television on Piers Morgan and said, oh, I read this article the other day and this was batshit crazy, she'd be shunned. She'd be deplatformed. So this is the world we're living in. So I don't know what to say about, you know, how did we get here and how do you fix it? How do you go back to the live and let live normal people who can say a fact is a fact and get away from tampons in kindergarten boys' bathrooms?
So like the whole, we're kind of bringing together trans, you know, crazy town, cancel culture,
right?
You know, apologizing.
By the way, nothing wrong with being trans. You want to be trans? I don't care. If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.